What's going on, everybody? Thanks for tuning back into another video. This one's going to be going over the entire market as a whole. There's been a ton of news that broke today. For the most part, all really good news. The market's obviously taken it well, and we've also seen a real nice pop in Bitcoin. But then also, especially with your day trading portfolios, you're using Profit Trailer, whatever it is, you're seeing some of these other altcoins really outpace Bitcoin over the past 24 hours, which has been really nice to see. And we're going to talk about one in particular. We're going to talk about EOS and the block one capital infusement that happened today with co-founder of PayPal, Peter Thiel. So that'll be an interesting article, kind of an interesting read. I'm very interested in like the underlying business fundamentals of a lot of these companies. So that's kind of the route I'll take on some of these articles and how they kind of affect the market as a whole. We'll just kind of dig into the Bitcoin chart. I really like what TradingView did here. This is nice. You can kind of play around with this. That's kind of cool. But we'll just get into the real chart here. This is the 4 hour. We're looking at Bitfinex, the BTC USD chart here. We definitely had a very bullish breakout on the MACD. That's always nice to see. I really need to just sign up for TradingView. But as you can see, we're sitting on 4 hour candles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 4 hour candles in a row, which is pretty interesting. So, you can't have these green candles forever. So this will come to an end. What do I think is going to happen? So my outlook on this is we're probably on a 3 wave right here, and we're probably going to continue. It looks like we're definitely losing steam. Especially with the volume. We had a real nice volume pump here. And then we're definitely above the EMA, the 200-day EMA, or I guess this is the 200 candle EMA on the 4 hour, which is nice to see. We bounced off of that, bounced quite a bit above it. And if we go out to the 1 day, we'll be able to see that we're still quite a ways off from the 200-day if we zoom out. But that's going to be a really bullish situation once we get up towards this 200-day EMA. I'm actually really looking forward to that, which, with these price action, with the train maybe leaving the station, it could be quite a bit sooner than we sort of think. So hopefully that is the case. But let's go back down to the 4 hour and we can kind of talk about the fib retracement here. As you're seeing, if we go back in time a little bit, I apologize if I'm moving the screen around a lot, but you can see right here, we had a very definitive bounce off of this 0.618 line. And this is the golden fib level, right? Everybody talks about this. And this really signifies a bullish move. And I'm very happy to see this. But the problem is if you're on the 4 hour and you're looking at the RSI, we're clearly overbought if you're using the 70 mark as your overbought territory. And, this signifies to me that, okay, this is fine. We had a really nice bullish break. Now we're probably going to we're due for a bit of a correction. Just, it's normal market cycles, right? If we pull out the Elliott wave, we can really kind of decide where we think this is going. So say this is the 3 wave, right? This 1 and 2, the 0 and the 2 are very, very close to each other. If you're counting, if this is your primary count, this is very, very, very close. So keep that in mind. You can move this 0 down to here, I guess. But anyway, just for a rough explanation here, what I could see happening is we could come down and test this 0.236 line, which would be very close to this 200 candle EMA that we've bounced up above, and we use this support. So if this EMA can hold as support, I have no problem selling these highs that we're at right now and then jumping back in when we get this 4 wave correction. And the reason I say that is because not only are we sitting at this 3 wave and generally, always with Elliott waves, you're going to have these corrections, right? And this 4 wave is inevitably going to come if this is your count, right? Whether or not you're using the wicks or you're using the end of the candles, whatever. This is going to happen some way or another. And we're obviously sitting at this resistance line, sitting at around, what is this, 6,800 or 6,800 mark, somewhere in that range. And we've gotten pretty close. We could continue up and continue testing that. And if we do break through that, then my other count would be up in here, and our 4-wave would retrace back to this level as a support. My primary outlook on this is going to be we're probably going to come back down towards this 200 EMA, and we're probably going to retrace a bit, and then hopefully we can have a nice impulsive 5-wave jump through this resistance line at 6,800, the 6,800 level, somewhere in there, give or take, 50, 100 bucks, whatever, just as a rough estimate. And this is kind of just my overview here. This is kind of what I'm looking at. And so, obviously do your own research, look into this more. If you disagree or you do agree, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm pretty curious about that. I'm looking at the basic indicators and then some Elliott waves. And I'm looking at this RSI, I'm looking at this MACD. We're definitely coming up over. We might kind of peter out on top here, and then we probably will see this little retracement, which is okay. It's not a big deal. That's why you sell the highs and you buy the lows. That's kind of what day trading is all about. So that's my outlook. If we do this and we end up on this 5th wave and the 6,800 marks as a support line, I mean, the train is hopefully leaving the station and we're out of this bear market. It's difficult to tell. I would have to go back onto the 1 day and really give myself an idea of where these fib levels are. Where are we crossing over? Let's see, where am I looking at here? I'd like to see what this looks like from the bottoms here. I mean, we'd have a way to go for us to be in like a so-called another bullish market. Obviously, this is kind of more an advanced technique looking at it backwards. But anyway, so that'll be for another video. I'll go over that once I think we're kind of off to the races and the train has left the station. For the time being, this is what I'm looking at. So let's get into the news. So the CFA exam is getting a crypto section next year. This may not seem like a big deal because most people probably don't even know what the CFA exam is. It's an extremely difficult chartered financial analyst program. It's basically just an exam for ethics and all sorts of different finance stuff, right? Like I'm not even too familiar with the CFA, but I know that this is good news because they said this. We saw the field of crypto advancing more quickly than other fields, and we also saw that it is more durable, and this is not just a passing fad. So when crypto starts being put into major worldwide financial exams, this is big news, guys. Like this is bullish. This is extremely bullish, and that's basically the sum of that. Like that, you don't even need to read the rest of this article. They just kind of go on to talk about the CFA exam. Said they attract 100,000 people. Most of the people fail these exams because they're so difficult, and now they're becoming, probably more difficult to include blockchain technology and whatnot. But I look at this as very, very bullish news because the more people, 100,000 people a year are taking this exam. That's getting exposure to more people, and it's legitimizing the space every time somebody looks at this exam or is studying for it. So that's good. Congress is now holding 2 crypto hearings this Wednesday. So this is also pretty important. It's really hard to tell what the market is going to do. This could be exactly what we're looking at with this 4-wave correction come, in a day from now. People start kind of selling off and anticipating this, maybe some bad news. And then maybe the Congress comes out and the House Committee on Financial Services says, oh, blockchain technology, we're going all in. And then we see a super bullish, impulsive 5-wave, which could happen. I'm not saying that will happen, but something I'm looking at because Elliott waves definitely coincide with news. So that's important. Basically, what we're looking at here is last week, CoinDesk reported that the House Committee on Financial Services will gather this week to discuss the subject with a particular hearing honing in on the question of crypto as a new form of money. So this is really interesting to me, the extent to which the U.S. government should consider cryptocurrencies as money and potential domestic and global uses for cryptocurrencies. So that's really, really good news, right? Like they're coming together. And the governments, one of the most powerful governments in the world, is saying, all right, how are we going to use these things as money? And how are we going to how are they going to be used globally? So that's good news. That's also bullish that they're coming together and going to be talking about this. I don't see a lot of real negative news that could come out of this, but you know, who knows? In crypto, you never know. But this next one, on the same day, the House Agriculture Committee will hold a hearing entitled "Cryptocurrencies Oversight of New Assets in the Digital Age." So just some interesting stuff here. You can read this. It says our committee has a deep interest in promoting strong markets for commodities of all types, including those emerging through new technologies. So you know, the commodities exchange markets and stuff, you're looking at different things, oil, coffee, all of this other stuff, right? And they're looking into how cryptos can start to become a part of their inner workings, which is really good news. That's cool. And so I'm really excited to see the kind of news that comes out on Wednesday regarding all of this. This is the EOS news. Peter Thiel, Bitmain co-founder, invests in EOS developer Block One. So this is like very, very fuzzy news because we don't know how much money was put in, but we know it was a big name. And so that is in itself good news. Peter Thiel has been very bullish, has had a very bullish stance on cryptos for a while. But it says let's read this. So in a fresh round of funding, the amount of which was not disclosed, Block One, the company behind what has now become the 5th most valuable cryptocurrency by market cap, has added Thiel, Bitmain, and hedge fund billionaires Louis Bacon and Alan Howard to its list of investors. So I mean, like, hedge fund billionaires, that's a big deal when they're getting into crypto, and especially when they're getting into crypto at such low levels like we've been at for the past few months. So this is all, once again, kind of the theme of my past couple videos on the market is when big hedge fund guys are getting in a very bearish kind of outlook market where most of the public is saying, oh, we're writing off crypto. I lost all my money in it. It's over. Well, that's when the big and the smart money comes in and really just makes a power play, right? And that's kind of what seems to be happening here because I mean, EOS raised like $4 billion. It says right here, $4 billion over the course of a year-long token sale. It's hard to tell what they're going to do with more money, but Thiel has tons of connections, and it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this. So, you know, that's just something I wanted to talk about. This is another one. This is huge news. BlackRock. So BlackRock is the world's biggest. Let's see. It is the world's largest asset manager, having $6.3 trillion in assets under management. So, and this is from December 2017, so a little bit old. This is huge. They say, you know, this is reported by Global Chief Investment Strategist Richard Turnell, said, we see cryptocurrencies potentially becoming more widely used in the future as the market matures. Yet for now, we believe that they should only be considered by those who can stomach potentially complete losses. Similarly, blockchain needs to overcome significant hurdles to reach its promising future. This is what I think launched Bitcoin today. It says soon after the news broke, Bitcoin's price rose sharply, you know, roughly $280 in the course of a few minutes. So, you know, this was definitely taken well by the market. I mean, when the biggest asset management company publicly says, hey, we have a team set up looking at Bitcoin futures. We have a team set up looking at, you know, they're probably looking at all sorts of different ETFs. It says, citing sources close to the matter, the article says that the working group is comprised of different divisions from within BlackRock and maybe looking at the possibility of a Bitcoin ETF. And no better to come out with a Bitcoin ETF than the world's largest asset manager with $6.3 trillion in assets under management. This is really, really bullish news. And if they do follow through with an ETF, that is something that will really spike the market. And then the last thing, this is also very bullish news for Bitcoin. And this is something I'm not going to get into very specifically because a lot of this is over my head. But this is the Schnorr incoming, right? This is a Bitcoin upgrade that arguably took its most significant step yet towards the implementation last week when influential developer Peter Really, I'm not sure. I've heard the name before, but I don't know how to pronounce it. But a draft outlining its technical makeup. Apparently, this is going to do a lot of stuff for Bitcoin. This is going to help with the scalability, It's going to help with the security. So this is a really interesting read. I definitely recommend taking a look at this one. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy.